Okay, so casting part 2. I had to stop that video because it was starting to lag and go a little bit wafty, and I didn't want to do the video for the 4th time. So where did we get to? That's right, looking at casting in Python. So I'm going to look at it directly in the shell for you because it will echo back the value directly, so we can see an instant result. Let's take a look at string. So str, let's send it a integer value, so 34, and you can see it's echoed back 34 with quotes around it, single quotes, that's fine, but it is still a data type of a string. If I send it in integer, so let's send this a string. Remember, it has to be a number. It's not you know, a genius. It can't convert a t into a number. So I'm going to do 45 and then send that, and you'll see that it echoes back. Now it's converted that into an integer. I can send int also 45.89. So I can send it a float number, and it will get rid of the fractional part, and we'll just have the whole number, because an integer is a whole number. I'm going to keep repeating that. Let's take a look at float now. So we've got float, and we're going to send, say, float an integer, so 56, and it will echo back 56.0, so it's converted 56 into a real number or float number. You need to know those two words interchangeably, and it just means that it's a number with a fractional part. And let's send float now a string 23.78, and we've got 23.78 as a float number, a real number. So we can convert data types into different data types within reason, so that we can then work on them. So let's look at that problem we had again, where this problem here, so we can fix that now, right? Let's go down here. Oh no, I can't really. Just move it over a little bit. Okay, hopefully you can see down here. So age equals 24 as a string. So we've got a variable called age, and I'm assigning it with the string 24. That didn't work. I can't just put age plus 10. That's not going to work. So I'm going to convert age. And remember, we can send the constructor function, the casting function, int, the variable where 24 is stored. So I have a variable which is a location in memory, which can be changed when the program is running, and I've assigned that with the string 24, so that's now stored inside age. I've now got this function called int, and I'm sending it age. We'll have a look. Yes, thank you very much. Age has now been turned into an integer, or the value stored inside age has been. So now my age plus 10 is going to work. Age plus 10, and it didn't. Why? Okay. Still got the same problem here. Now I'll tell you the reason why. I've given age. This is a variable, a location in memory. I've given it 24. Boom. As stored. It's remembered it. And then I've said, hey, Mr. Casting function, take age and tell me what that is. And they say, well, it's 24 if you want to convert it to int. And it's done that, but it's not remembered it. Remember, if we want the program to store a value, and even if that value already exists, and when we alter it, we need to tell it to put it back into the variable or assign it to a new one. Okay, so let's do the latter so I can show you. So I'm going to create a new variable called age. No, I'm going to call it in age, if it lets me. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do capital A, so make it in age. So in this variable, I'm going to store the returned value from int after sending it the variable age. Now it didn't do anything, well it did, but it didn't echo anything back to me because I didn't ask it to. So here I've got a new variable called int age. I assigned it with age converted into int, been put into int age. Let's now print in age 24, and I think actually even if I print age, it's going to come back 24 without the quotes around it, which is not very helpful. Yeah. But if I try to add 10 to age like this, you get the error. But now if I try to add 10 to in age, I don't. So age was assigned 24. It doesn't forget that unless I tell it to forget that. I then converted age into an int, and that did that on the shell but didn't store it back in age. So age is still 24 as a string. Here we've got a new variable and I assigned it with the converted age. So using the converted age, I can then do the calculation. Rather than making a new variable, simply I can just put it back into that variable, because why create another location in memory when I don't need to? So actually a better way of doing that would be age equals 24, and then age equals int age, and then I can do age plus 10, and then it would work. So I could reuse the same variable location and then update it so long as I want to overwrite it. To make that even simpler, I could just do age equals int 24. So before I even store it in the variable in the first place, I've sent 24 to int. Int's converted it or casted it into an integer and then put it into age. So now I can do this and miss a whole line of code. Okay. Right, what you need to do is complete this OneNote on LO1, blah, 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 read through this thingy. This here is some examples of assigning variables with values. Just do the green if you need to, then the purple and the yellow if you're on that pathway. Only do the inline function calls if you are of yellow, okay, because it's just extending your learning, but it's not particularly necessary if you like. And if you've done that, we can look at casting user inputs. Okay, so get that done, then move on to the next section.